Melissa, you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. I don't know if you was,
I'm not seeing anything on the screen.
you don't see anything on the screen.
No, do you see me?
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? That's all that matters. Hello, everyone. I can't see you guys. That's interesting. And welcome to another episode of Contemporary Living. We want to thank you because if you didn't know, right now there are 817,000, yes, thousand television programs and streaming and all of that stuff that's going on right now, and you chose to be with us and watch us right now. And that's according to nerdist.com. 817,000 things that are happening all at once. So we want you to go ahead and show us a little bit more love by smashing that like button and sharing this program, because guess what? It's going to be good. We
Yeah.
hope that you've had a good week. I hope it was good. I hope it was productive for you, and that you're feeling fine on this Sunday evening as you tune in with us. And guess what? He's back. Yes, you guys, it's Andre, and he is back from his hiatus, coming
Yeah.
to grace us with his presence. So,
Yeah.
Andre, tell everyone, what have you been up to, and how does it feel to be in back of the camera? Because for what, 5 or 6 months now, you've been
Yes.
front.
Yeah. I've been working behind the scenes. I've been doing all of the back end work that you guys been seeing over the last 5 months. I tried to
Absolutely.
retire, but my wife wouldn't let me. So,
No, ain't no such
but
thing as retirement. It
yeah, but it feels good to be back. I'm looking forward to our upcoming episodes. I'm looking forward to tonight's episode. I had to come back definitely for tonight's episode because tonight is a special night. I am excited about it. But Melissa, we got to do those housekeeping notes before we get started.
Absolutely.
So we like to welcome everybody to Contemporary Living, where we provide lifestyle solutions for everyday people. And just to let you know, if you want to follow us, you can follow us. Or if you want to become a guest on our show, you can send us an email at info@contemporarylivinglive.com. Or, of course, you can still email us, at farminghill@gmail.com. Also, if you're on Facebook, you can follow us on Facebook Live each and every other week at Contemporary Living with Farm and Hill. And also YouTube. We are also on YouTube, streaming live tonight on YouTube. And of course, we are on the E360 network tonight. We are broadcasting live worldwide on Roku. So you can follow us on, you can use your Android, your Apple phone, or if you got the Fire Stick, you can download the E360 app on Fire TV, and of course on Apple TV as well. So not only that, if you're in the Chicago South suburbs, yes, we still come on Comcast Channel 19 each and every
Woo!
Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we are providing lifestyle solutions for you each and every night. So we are grateful. We appreciate everybody that continues to follow Contemporary Living, and we're looking forward to having a great night tonight.
Absolutely. One of the things that you forgot to add.
What's that?
Farm Hill Cafe, Saturday mornings at 7. I am there. Andre is still sleeping or
Yeah.
just chilling, like I like to call it.
Yeah, don't call me before 9 o'clock. I can help you after 9.
my,
I, I'm
the
on real
army
estate
in me.
hours. I'm on real estate. I'm a realtor. I got that privilege.
What's your office hours?
My office hours from 9 to 5.
What movie was that from?
5 Harvey. That's my office hours. I don't want to have to dangle nobody over the roof.
But me, I like to be up at the crack of dawn if I can. But on Saturday, I really go in and just let you know what Andre and I are doing. We tell you about some of the events. We tell you about other events that are happening within the Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana area. And like we always say, our platform is your platform. So definitely, if you want to be a part of this, be a part of what we're doing, reach out to us, like he said. But I said, tonight is special.
Yes.
Tonight is special. Andre came out of retirement. Retirement for this one, for our next guest. And we are just so happy because she is family, and she is going to share some nuggets for you on how to turn your tragedy into triumph. And we're gonna unpack that today. So, Andre, you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. So JaHana Holloway is the founder of Empowered to Enlighten, an educational and empowerment organization in Kankakee, Illinois. Her superpower, oh, I like that. Her superpower. What's your superpower? Do you have a superpower? Huh? Her superpower is empowering others to overcome their limiting beliefs and recognize their greatness. I'm loving this already, you guys. Based on her negative experiences as a youth, JaHana was motivated to uplift the younger generation. Because of this, she pursued a degree in elementary education and taught middle school for several years. In 2020, JaHana's life changed forever. But instead of allowing those circumstances to break her spirit, JaHana decided to step out on faith and start her own business. She worked diligently to become an empowerment life coach and licensed financial educator. It was her personal mission to encourage others by helping them become aware of how valuable they are personally and financially. In addition to providing life coaching services, JaHana is also a motivational speaker. Oh, she's giving it all to us tonight. One of her proudest moments, you guys, was being featured as a TED Talk speaker. That's big. In
Yes.
honor of International Women's Day. Her message was in alignment with her favorite mantra: I am not my sister's keeper. I am my sister. And I love her quote that there is no such thing as failure, either bad timing or poor planning, but both can be adjusted. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Miss JaHana Holloway.
Hello.
Hello.
JaHana.
Hello.
Yes, she's here.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
I'm great. Blessed.
Good. Good.
Thank you
It's
for
so
having
good
me.
to see you.
Thank you.
And you know
Yes.
what? Happy birthday. This is her
Yes.
birthday weekend,
Happy
you
birthday.
guys. So let's make sure we're saying
Thank
happy
you.
birthday
Thank
to
you.
you.
My best year so far. Yes. Thank
Excellent. Excellent.
That's
So before we
wonderful.
even get started, we're gonna get started. We're gonna jump right into it. So I hope you're feeling good tonight. So just tell our audience a little bit about you.
So a little bit about me is I like Melissa shared. I was born in Kankakee, Illinois, but I was always like the outcast, just kind of the silent person, really didn't speak up as a youth. And I didn't find my voice until maybe like 2-3 years ago, actually. Most people think I've always been speaking, but I haven't. I was so shy. I was afraid to speak in front of people. I was ridiculed for so many different reasons. So I decided to step out on faith and just stop being afraid and letting my fears hold me back. And so that's pretty much my story. Part of my story in a nutshell is just overcoming my fears and like I said, my limiting beliefs that I help other people overcome as well.
Awesome. Now I know we titled your promo. So when we did the video promo, we titled it From Tragedy to Triumph. We got a little flack for that, but because there's some people who always see things from the positive side and may not see your tragedy as a tragedy. So tell us, how do you view, tragedy for those who may not see the situation the same?
Thank you for that question, because one of my biggest things, like I shared, is that what may be tragic for me may not be tragic for Andre or Melissa or anybody else. We all experience different tragedies, but no one can tell you that's not a tragedy for you,
Right.
So one of my things that I wanted to share, I really don't share, but I'm going to share tonight because I don't know who is watching and who needs to hear this. But I started out at a disadvantage. because my mother had shared with me that she tried to terminate the pregnancy 3 times, and was unsuccessful. So she shared that with me to tell me, you were meant to be here. You were meant to be in this world. And I share that because one of our very first relationships in life is with our mother. You know, you in the room and what she's feeling, you're experiencing as well. So my first relationship was broken. She was a young woman. She was 18, 19. So she didn't know how to connect with me. So I'm entering this world already, my first broken relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Then you fast forward to, like I shared on a TED Talk about 2020. That was the year of bam, 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 tragedy back to back. So in April 2020, my sister had passed away, and I actually stood over her, you know, seeing her lifeless body. That does something to your psyche.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's tragic in itself. And then her son passed away. I mean, excuse me, Lord, forgive me. Her son could have passed away from being shot so much a few months later. That was another tragedy. And then you move on to my marriage ended in one phone call, just like that. And so at that time, that was in a span of 3 or 4 months. So I couldn't go for air. And then not only did the marriage end, the man left, the money left. All of my bank accounts were zeroed out. All of the joint accounts zeroed out.
Oh,
I had no money. I had this big, beautiful house, but I was responsible for the mortgage and everything else. So I that was my rock bottom. And so I had to rebuild my life. And mind you, I have 4 daughters watching me go through this. I couldn't escape and go somewhere and recover. I had to get up every day and try to go through and make a better life for us. So that's just some of the tragic things that I experienced. And I had to find a way to rebuild myself from that because that was my rock bottom.
Yeah.
Wow. How did you overcome all this here? Now let me back up a little bit, just to give people a little bit of insight of JaHana. Now, JaHana, she's family. She's a cousin of mine through marriage. Just so if y'all hear me call her honey, that's what we called her as kids. Now, her uncle David Holloway was actually married to my auntie Deborah, who passed actually over 20 years ago. So unexpectedly, she had a massive stroke and she passed on. But Uncle Pimp, which we called him, he still lives in the same house today. Still got the same phone number. so she's like family, and just to hear her story tonight, it's amazing. But I gotta ask you, how did you overcome all this here? You know, and rest in peace, Tree. I know everybody missed her dearly. But how did you overcome all this in a short span of time?
The short span of time, I had to take accountability for where I was with my relationships. But as far as grieving, people don't realize that a relationship ending and a divorce, that is a death. So you have to mourn that. And I did something that most people don't do. Most people have a divorce party, or they may go on social media and you know, bash the person. I had a funeral for my marriage ending. And so, I mean,
you went through like a ceremonial type funeral?
Yes.
A real death. I had pictures, a eulogy. I had friends write letters and say what our marriage meant to them. I had pictures. I had it all because I had to release all of those emotions. And so, I mean, I sat in that I had a walk-in closet at the time, and I sat there on the floor and for hours, and I cried and I sobbed and I cursed and I shouted. Things I wanted to say to him or to other people, I got it all out. And with my clients, I do that as well. You know, teach them, you know, we do relationship autopsy and then a funeral for the ending of it, because we have so many trapped emotions, but we keep going to the next relationship, and we don't process it. So that's what I did to overcome it. And of course, my faith, my prayer, my God, you know, I had to lean heavily on my faith and my family to keep me going. You know what? I think what you just said is so profound, because you use that for your relationships. So when you think about, you know, tragedy into triumph, and if you just look at Chicago alone, all the tragedy around our children, that's one thing we were praying for in church where it was today, was just praying for your children, because it seems like when you watch the news in Chicago, it's tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. Those same methods, it seems like, could be used for just about anything. Anything, the methods that you have.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the mission of Empowered to Enlighten. And I know you've got the Empowered to Enlighten Academy, because it sounds like that's the place for someone that's experiencing,
Yes.
Things like that.
Yes. So really that was born out of my pain, Empowered to Enlighten, because at the time I was going through, I really wanted like a spiritual being to just come down and take me away for a while. No, I didn't die, but I just wanted to be removed from the situation so I could be healed and restored.
Right.
Almost like somebody telling my children, your mother needs the time out. We need to take her away from y'all for a while. She's wounded and she's broken. But that didn't happen. So Empowered to Enlighten, that's what I tried, that's what I'm doing, is I give people a safe space to do those emotions out, to heal in a safe space where they're with other people. I just had a women's empowerment class, a 4-week course called No Rain, No Flowers. And that was so powerful. The women left here transformed. So it's me being that wounded healer almost. I'm giving them what I would have loved to have at that time I was going through.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that is just so powerful, because there's so many hurt souls. Their soul is hurt. And we need somebody to stand in the gap and just grab them by the hand to just take them to the next level in their life. Because I mean, when you look around, people, they don't have any patience anymore. They're quick tempered, and they're just quick to lash out. We don't think.
Nope.
We don't stop to think about anything. We just react. And that's not why God gave us these beautiful, brilliant minds.
Yeah, and I like how, how she went back and started helping other women and stuff like that. The Bible said once you have been converted, go strengthen. And that's exactly what has happened. Even though, the Bible talks about how even though your outward man perish, your inward man is renewed day by day. And just through the trials and the tribulations, the things that you went through, something was birthed. And the things that you're doing right now has been birthed through your trials and tribulations and errors and stuff like that. So God is amazing. And, and I like how you took that tragedy and how you triumphing right now.
Thank you. Thank you both so much. Thank
and
you.
They say that your gifts aren't for you.
Nope.
Your tragedy is not for you.
Nope.
It's for that person that's hurting, that you have to pull up. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so you got to tell us now. Last time I seen y'all was at GameStop. I was a store manager at GameStop. That's the last time I seen you. That's been over 10 years ago, right? So now all of a sudden I see you years later. You just come out the blue on Facebook and you just killing the game. I see you everywhere. So tell us what happened. How did you become a financial educator? What happened?
You said what happened?
What you woke up one morning and said, I want to do this here. What changed?
Well, with the financial component, the biggest thing for me, like I said, when all of those accounts were cleared out, I realized I'd never give my financial power away to anybody ever again. So I went in learning as much as I can on my own about finances, because for one, I'm going to build generational wealth for my daughter so that they would never be put in that situation as well. And then also empower other people. So that's why I really went hard with the financial education component, because it's so needed. We're not educated. And, we have this stigma around our culture is, Jordans and iPhones, get them that and they good, like they don't, we're not perceived to want more in life. So I want to break that stigma and that stereotype as well. And then as far as speaking, like I said, I just started public speaking maybe 2 years ago. A young man that's from Kankakee, his name is Kent, and he asked me to
Can't wait.
You all.
I got one of his t-shirts.
Young Malcolm X. Yeah, we know.
So see how this connection going. So he had the Shake the Fear conference, and his very first one, he asked me to speak. And I spoke there. That was my first time, and that was in 2020. I had just got divorced, whatever, but I still had something to say, and I knew I always had something to say, power in words. And that was my very first event. And after that, I just started, doing Facebook Live videos myself about how to heal trauma, relationships, etc. And then I never looked back. I just kept going.
I like how you spoke on generational wealth. Me and my wife, we listened to Dr. Claude Anderson and Dr. Boyce Watkins and Julian Gordon. For our listeners tonight, it's very important that we understand that Blacks only own 1/2 of 1% of the wealth in this country. And the wealth gap between Blacks and other cultures is steady. The gap is huge.
Yeah. We're always at the bottom.
We're at the bottom of every bad statistic out there.
We're at the top of every bad statistic.
Yeah,
and at the bottom. Good
statistic, right? I'm sorry, babe. Thanks for the correction. As a group, when we talk about as a group, so that financial, getting yourself a house in order together financially, whether it's through real estate, and we're going to talk about this later on through life insurance and stuff like that. There is very important, and that generational wealth. And honey, we're going to have to get together, and maybe some of our followers and viewers can come out as well, and we need to definitely talk about bridging that financial gap like as soon as possible. Especially a lot of people's going to suffer when this recession hit as well.
Well, the recession I think is here.
Well, pretty much.
Get worse from it's going to get incrementally worse. That doesn't mean you can't be okay. You can be okay, but I think like what you said was really good because what you both said was really good because I don't believe people really understand the financial literacy part as it relates to building generational wealth. Well, why should I be responsible for my kids? I'm here, I'm on earth, I'm gonna do what I do. The kids can take care of themselves, but that is not how it goes. And you wonder why every generation is starting from the bottom.
Yes.
Now, I do believe, and this is my personal belief, there is, systemic racism. It's inculcated. It's in our system. And that's why you see that commercial where you have people, if you had a house, passed on to you, if you had a college education, and then they had the minorities way back here and the other, and the non-minorities or what they call minorities way in the front. That shows that there is a systemic racism. And like you said, if we can bridge that up, because it can be done, but the mind has to change.
Yes.
And that's the hard part. That's the hardest part. Once you get the mind to change, you can just do a few steps, just follow the system in order to, gain generational wealth. But you guys nailed that on the head. Generational wealth is so important for us to think about and consider, get involved in. Yeah.
And I like that you said mindset, because that's in every area. Like, shift your mindset and you make a major difference. Like you said, step by step.
Yeah. So what I want to know is you had a phrase that you said, and I used it. I told you yesterday, you guys, JaHana, when we had our connections test yesterday, she really inspired me. But there's a phrase you said, and it says, "I am not my sister's keeper. I am my sister." What does that mean?
Okay. Well, first, I can't take credit for that because that's Iyanla Vanzant's quote, but I use it dearly.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Give her credit. But what it means to me is that I'm not just here to have my sister's back or, have be there for her. I am her. And so Melissa, as women, we can be messy. We hate one another.
Yes.
Talk about it. You stay right there.
Look at Andre.
Yes. So, it's like you see somebody and you out somewhere, and another woman doesn't even know, they tear her apart from head to toe just because look at her hair, look at her clothes, look at her this and that. But if you treat it as if that's your sister, you would treat her differently. Even with a lot of the, let's say, cheating or things that's going on. If we looked at one another as, wait, that's my sister, I'm not doing her wrong. I won't do that. I respect her. That is my sister. I am her. She's me. I have a saying, though, I always say, I see you because I am you. And that lets me know, hey.
Now you got that one. That's yours.
That's mine. So with that one, it's just like you letting people know, look, sis, I got you because I am you. It's a different mindset, and all the B word and putting each other down, that will change if you see that woman as your sister.
Man, that's powerful because I've heard so many times, well, I just don't get along with women. As a woman, you got to ask yourself why. And then we say, we're too catty, we're too this, we're too that. Well, let's come together and let's figure this out. Because we need each other. We need each other. And like you said, when it comes to cheating or anything like that, I wouldn't do it because that is my sister. So when you consider what you wouldn't do for your flesh and blood sister, then don't do it for another woman.
Right.
Regardless of her ethnicity.
Regardless. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you, but you're gonna answer this question after the commercial break.
Okay.
So we're at that half-hour mark. So when we get back, we're gonna ask you, what is a life coach and why should someone have a life coach?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'll let you marinate on there just a little bit. And let me give a shout out to Auntie Viv. Auntie Viv watching tonight and Riri watching, your sister watching tonight as well. So we'll be right back. We're gonna take a short commercial break. Stay tuned.
All right.
That wasn't too long. So as far as the commercials, we've got coffee at T2C2 Sip Nation. We've got our Shiro. We've got our Farm Hill coffee. And then you saw Uncorked. That's our annual wine event, our second annual wine event, Vin Noir. That's wine in black. We're celebrating women veterans. So everyone, all women are invited to attend, whether you're a veteran or whether you're a civilian. So Uncorked Vin Noir, that's August 7th. We've got Toulon nails, you get your nails for your luxury press-on nail needs. And I need some. And then, of course, last but not least, if you need a realtor, a realtor that's going to work for you, contact Andre for all your.
That is me. That is me. Yes. Teaching people how to build generational wealth through multifamily homes. If you're looking to purchase a home, I'm dealing with a lot of investors from out of state. Actually, we're getting ready to head to Louisiana in July to
New Orleans.
To a nice real estate gala. Yeah. So so we're looking forward to that as well. So like Melissa said, if you're looking for a real estate agent, you're looking to build your generational wealth, come see the Rookie of the Year right here.
There you go. Rookie of the Year right here. I like that, Andre.
Yeah, you like that? Okay, we'll talk about it. All right, so let's get back. Go ahead, back. I'll let you take back over.
Okay. All right. So we are back. Well, bring John on.
Oh, yeah, okay, there she go. I thought she was had. I don't know.
There she is. There she is. And we are back. Andre, do you want to ask the next question or you want me to ask the next?
No, she has a question. So I had asked her, what is a life coach, and why should someone get a life coach? So talk to us, Miss JaHana.
Yes. So basically, a life coach, that's someone who can help you see your life from a different perspective, through a different lens. And so there's different ones, they have business life coach, some that help you get your life organized. But my certification is in empowerment. So I'm an empowerment life coach because a lot of times we target the symptoms and not the root and the cause. So we'll give somebody some pills for depression, but we need to peel back layers. What's causing it? What's causing it? So that's what I do as an empowerment coach. Okay, let's get to the root cause. Most times it started in childhood, is what I've learned, based on my experience. But that gives you hire that person to give you just a different, because we talk to our friends, but they really can't give us the help that we need. So sometimes you do have to go to therapy or either seek life coach or coaching, because they can guide you step by step. And I know the word empowerment is used heavily, nowadays, but to me, to truly empower somebody is to equip them. It's more than I'm just giving you some positive words and now you left here inspired for an hour. It's more like I'm equipping you with the resources and tools so that you could do this yourself. Because once the person does their own work themselves, that's powerful already in itself. So that's empowering them, because you're giving them the tools, you're walking with them, but you're not walking for them.
So you're pretty much teaching them how to fish, like Jesus had to do the disciples.
That's okay. I go with that one.
That's funny. The pastor was talking about that today, so it kind of came back full circle when you mentioned that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty awesome, because lots of times, and make no mistake about it, there are a lot of shady people out here, and they don't have your best interests at heart, and they're looking at the money and doing all of those things. But on Contemporary Living, we do not have people like that on our show. So when this woman of God tells you what she tells you, believe her. Now, I know you talked about in your TED Talk that the pandemic brought you gifts. Now, I know the pandemic brought a lot of things, but that was a new one for me.
It's all about how you look at it. That's all about how you look at it.
Absolutely. So tell us what you meant when you said the pandemic, brought you gifts.
So as a country, as a whole, it gave us a timeout. We were so busy. We didn't have time for our children. We didn't have time for this. We always working. We always doing everything. We had to sit down. And it was very uncomfortable for a lot of people because they were so used to being on the go. But you didn't recognize that gift then. Because now we back to business now. We got, Zoom meetings, in-person meetings, this and that. We wish we had that time again. That was a gift. That was the gift of time. And another thing, people had to become creative. Okay, I'm in the house with my spouse. We're not going to do dinner and a movie no more. Now we need to turn the backyard into a picnic or do something different. It helped people tap into and reconnect. Now, as far as me, it just made me realize what I was really truly made of, because with everything happening to me back to back, I had realized the old version of myself had died off that year. And so that was a gift, because I was able to shed all that old, that limiting, that way of thinking, about myself, and I came out anew. You know what I'm saying? Brand new. Yeah. And so that was a gift for me, because I honestly, me being on here today, me doing a TED Talk, me doing anything, I dreamed it, like I had it on my vision board, whatever, but I truly didn't know it would happen. But after the pandemic, and I realized I'm done playing small, I'm done allowing my power to be handed over to somebody else. That was my gift of learning who I was and who,
that go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, I think the pandemic was a blessing to a lot of people. And I think that's one reason we have the shortage of the companies that don't have employees working right now. Because what it did was it taught people had to get out there and fend for themselves.
They had to
like
pivot.
you said, they had to be creative. They had to use those gifts that God had placed in them before they was born in order to survive. You know, and I remind me of the scripture, the just shall live by faith. During that particular time, people had to live by faith. They had to be creative and stuff like that. And speaking of the pandemic, me and Melissa had talked about becoming snowbirds for years. And when the pandemic hit, we said, you know what? Last year was our first year being snowbirds. So we said, we're going to leave Chicago for the winter. And then we're going to travel for 5 months. So we packed up in November and we left because nothing is certain. Life is not guaranteed. We look at people like we always talk about. We look at people like Kobe Bryant, and we look at people like Chadwick Boseman. These were young people that we just knew that we was going to see do greater things than what they had already done. But those were not the cards that God dealt out for them. Right. So the pandemic would definitely help people kind of refine, reevaluate their life and their situation as well.
Yeah. And your story, it reminds me of for the pandemic, you were in that cocoon.
Yes.
And what happens in the cocoon, that's the thing. When you read the word, everything came from a void. God created everything out of a void. And when you think about your situation, when you're locked up in that cocoon, all types of stuff were happening to you. You were in there fighting for your life. Basically, you were fighting for your life. And then you came out a butterfly.
Right.
And I think it's a blessing because I know, like in an instant, God can take you from just working in that cocoon to now look at you walking in it.
Yep.
Right.
You walking in it, and it's a beautiful thing.
Right. So I got those some names out there for you, Miss JaHana. Bill Clinton, Al Gore, Billy Graham, Bill Gates, Tony Robbins, James Cameron, 5-time TED Talk person, individual that we follow faithfully, Julian Gordon, JaHana Holloway.
Woo! Look at that list.
Look at that list. Tell us about this TED Talk journey. Hey, these are some heavy hitters I just named. That's just a few.
Absolutely.
Talk to us.
We're working on it, for walking in it. Look at you.
I have a disclaimer now, and I do need to say this to be clear. Oh my goodness, you gave me goosebumps with all those names now. The disclaimer is that the TED Talk that you all watched and that I did, that was with Women United, a local organization here with United Way. So it wasn't at the, it wasn't the TEDx at the California headquarters,
right?
Physically, but in my mind, it was.
It was a TED Talk. That's all.
That's what I'm saying. Right. I gotta be clear. Well, in California. No.
Right.
So I put that out there. I threw that disclaimer, but guess what? I acted like it. I was on that stage like I was.
Right.
So that's something I hold very dearly because, like I said, I just started public speaking a few years ago, and for me to be asked and recommended to do that, that's how the journey happened. Actually, Kent he was one of the people who recommended me to become a TED Talk speaker, and another young lady named Jasmine, I don't know if you know Jasmine Humble, she was in the audience at Kent's event. And I remember her pulling me to the side and she said, you're going far. You're going to go far. And that was my very first speaking engagement. And then she was one of the other people who had recommended me as a TED Talk speaker. So this just shows how God puts people in your life. You don't even know why. You don't know what the connection is at the time. So that's when, and then I was asked in January to do the TED Talk. But I have a funny thing about that is that I didn't come up with that message until 3 days before the actual TED Talk.
Oh, wow.
Because I had 7 different scripts that I wrote up. None of them were connecting with me. And then I finally just sat on the bed one night and I said, Lord, you know what? I surrender this. Let me know what I'm
That's
supposed to say to these women, to the women. And then the message came at 3 a.m. And I sat up and wrote my notes out in the bed at 3 a.m. in the morning. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I was watching your video. I was cracking up because you were talking about you was hoping that somebody would have called and canceled.
Yeah.
I was dying laughing. That was so funny.
That negative thinking, you know how you have that negative thought, you talk yourself, you know what, how people say no weapon formed against me shall prosper, but we be forming weapons against ourselves all the time.
Right.
Yeah. and that's why that saying is out there. My enemy is my enemy, because we do it to ourselves, So I was hoping she did call me, because I'm like, okay, now I have an excuse. I don't got to show up. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't happen that way.
Right.
When you did an excellent job, and always just continue to stay encouraged and do what you do. I don't care if you was in California, Tennessee, what have you. It's TED Talk. Okay. So you know what I'm saying? Just to let you know.
Absolutely. Would you tell her, Andre?
Yeah, it's TED Talk. Yeah. Just because you went on that same stage, they still affiliated. It's still part of TED Talk. So, but yeah, just to let you know. Yeah, but don't downplay that thing, because that's huge.
You're right.
That's
Not
huge.
at all.
Yeah, and so we appreciate the things that you're doing and the things that you're going to do as well.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
So now, now that we kind of know that you did a TED Talk, as people out there watching, they were like, well, how can I be down? How can someone emulate you and change the narrative of their own story like you did? Because it's powerful. Because like you said, you went through a whole lot in a little bit of time, where people usually have those types of tragedies over a span or a course of a lifetime, and it happened all to you in like a short span of time. So what advice would you give to people that want to emulate you, that are right now going through tragedies?
That's a very good question. One thing I have to say is that one thing I ask people is, who are you without your story? Because a lot of times we become so attached to the story, and we stay stuck in that perpetual cycle of the pain and the story. So you have to detach from the story and do your work. You can still have your story, because it's powerful in itself, but it's not who you are. And a lot of times we become accustomed to, that's just all we are, is that story, that pain or whatever. So what I did, like I said, I did a funeral. I pulled myself back from everything, and I did my work. Every day, I actually took time off from work. When I was working at the time, I took time off from work. I did major healing. And so when I say work, I was in that room just going within, because everything starts in here. So I was always myself within. A lot of people recommend, when you go through something, get under somebody else and you'll get over it. That's not true. All you did is just carry your baggage to somebody else. So you have to sit with yourself, which is uncomfortable for a lot of people, and do your work. So if somebody wants to start on that journey, first take accountability, do your work, and then just believe that there's better out there. I always share this saying, is that people choose known hells as opposed to unknown heavens. They always, a lot of times we stuck in that comfort zone, and we're afraid to see what's out there. But you have to have faith and believe that it is better out there. I don't care if it's in a relationship, it's with a job, or it's with family, personal, professional. You have to have a strong belief system. And it doesn't have to be in God. Everybody doesn't believe, but believe in something higher than yourself.
Right. I think that's, you said some powerful words that a lot of people ignore. You have to do the work, because that's the hard part. You can't change just by continuing to be on your phone, be in social media, or like you say, find somebody else real quick. You have to go within. That's where it all starts. Do the work is very important. Very important. A lot of people, that's the hardest part to do, because they have to be in silence. Now it's just me with me. And a lot of times we use that noise to just keep us unfocused, to keep us distracted. So do the work and go within. That was really powerful. Thank you for that.
Yeah, so that time go by quick. So I got to ask you this quick question right quick. Tell us about the universal life insurance. How can we build generational wealth through life insurance?
So with the life insurance, the universal life insurance, that has two components to it.
Okay.
It is the life insurance component, but it's also you're building wealth with the retirement. It's almost like a retirement plan, but it's under a different bracket, under a different tax code. So
Mm-hmm.
that way you're able to, it's at 15%. You know, sometimes the rates may change, but it's at a higher percent than just a regular 401k. And
Okay.
so what you do with that is you, over the years, once the investments start to come in, then you'll start noticing, okay, now I have this much that I can withdraw. You can withdraw the cash and you're not
Mm-hmm.
penalized. Most time they make you pay your money back and it's your money, you know.
Right.
But you can withdraw the cash if you want to, but you can also allow it to grow. And then when you pass away, guess what? Now this money, all of these, whatever you set up, it could be
Mm-hmm.
millions, 100,000s, whatever you set up. Now that is transferred over to your benefactors, your beneficiaries, and now they have this wealth to carry on to the next generation and the next generation. So I highly recommend people to look into the index universal life insurance because it's different than whole life. Most people think it's whole life insurance, but it's
Right.
it's you know, it
Yeah,
has, yeah.
we hear a lot about whole life as well.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna do some investigation on that as well. I think next time we get you back on, we're gonna break some of that stuff down. Maybe get some charts up on the screen.
Yeah,
And
we definitely
educate us
need to
on
do that.
that life
Yeah.
insurance. And,
Yeah,
you know,
my 16-year-old nephew, he just found out about it and he's ready. He's having me find out what is this whole life insurance, universal life insurance,
Mhm.
because he's ready to start investing. So we got some smart people around here,
yes.
60-year-olds that are ready. But yeah, we definitely, Andre, need to all come together and talk about financial generational wealth for sure. We need to bring you back for that.
Yeah, we definitely, because that's definitely we all about building generational wealth, and that's going to be a, a key for people to be successful as well, building that
Right.
generational wealth. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So we'll
Yeah.
look at our calendar and plan something before the end of the year,
Okay.
get you back on, and we're going to talk about that life insurance and
Yeah.
building wealth through that as well.
Thank you.
And the thing about it, I just want to leave people with, it doesn't take a whole lot of money to build wealth. People think, people think it takes a lot. It just takes you commitment and an investment and
Yep.
time and
Mhm.
to build that generational wealth, and you can get there. But I know we were running out of time, so now I know you got some events coming up.
Yes.
Tell us what's going on in your world.
Okay, so I for the past 6 years I have collaborated with Kankakee Community College. So I do 2 classes there. One is self-reflection. So it's about taking a journey within and looking at yourself from inside out. And then the other one is awakening your vision, which we set life goals, and then we also create vision boards along with that, to help make it more visual and make it more real. And then on top of that, I have a vision board party coming up with the Women United organization that I did the TED Talk with. And then for my own business too, I have virtual classes. I was telling Andre, I plan on starting to do them virtually because I do my life coaching and then I also do empowerment courses.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start doing them virtually as well to have a wider reach. And
Okay.
then I have another women's empowerment course coming up, which was No Rain, No Flowers. I'm going to do part 2. And then I'm doing a Healing the Inner Child series. So I'm going to have that. That one is going to be very powerful. So
yeah, you touched on that earlier, talking about, the childhood traumas. A lot of people spend their whole life as an adult based on issues they had as children, and then you're just trying to heal from that, and you don't even know that's the issue. So that is going to be powerful. So
Yeah.
I know you guys see JaHana's information at the bottom. You can contact her at 815-613-8105. I just wanted to make sure I got that out there.
thank you. Yes.
And then we got her email as well right here, info@empoweredtoenlighten.com. So I'm gonna let that scroll through so people can get that information as well. We also shared it already in our links as well, so people will be able to go in and look at your information, also to contact you by email or phone. And then we'll share your Facebook information as well.
Okay, thank you. Yep. There you go,
So
right.
before we go, because we only got in 1 minute, tell us, where do you see yourself within the next? I ain't gonna make it hard for you, because we was at a gentleman named James Dentley event the other day, and he done went from 100-year plan to teaching his people how to come up with 1,000-year plan.
1,000-year plan.
Yeah.
And that's something our culture is not used to doing. We plan out the
Yeah.
next day or the next week,
Yeah.
or maybe
Well,
even the next year, but we're talking 100 years out,
right.
1,000 years out. And
So
yeah,
I'm gonna make it easy for you tonight. Give us your 5-year goal, your 5-year plan.
just 5.
5-year goals in a minute. So basically, I want to continue. I'm going to continue speaking, doing speaking engagements. I will be on the TED Talk stage in California as well too. So be on the lookout for that. I'm speaking it, and then also I'm building an empire. Empowered to Enlighten is, it's in the baby stages, it's growing, but once it starts to come out and more people in the community are become aware of it, that's an empire that I'm going to be able to leave a legacy for my own children with that business, because that, like I said, that was birthed out of my pain. So that is very important to me. So 5 years, and then of course, wealth, traveling, living the life I deserve. So that's where I'm at in 5 years.
Hey, I like that, traveling.
All right, yeah.
Everywhere.
Hey, Riri said that's a great interview.
Thank you.
We got time for one more question, maybe 30 seconds, Andre.
You got a question for her, man?
Yeah. What message do you want to leave with our audience today?
Oh, so I really want to leave with the audience: know your worth, reclaim your power. We outsource our happiness to a lot of different things and people, to devices and people. Tap back into go within, and stop going outside of yourself looking to be validated and looking for joy and happiness. So once you do your work within, the outside starts to look very different.
Yeah.
So,
I'm about to steal that. We outsource our happiness.
It's already stolen. I got it.
No, you gotta watch her. You gotta watch her.
You got it.
I like that.
At the camera, right.
Is that your original, or did you get that from somebody?
It's a little remake.
A little remake. All right, cool.
I like the remix, JaHana.
So we appreciate you coming on. Please, you guys, reach out to JaHana for some financial advice and coaching and teaching. Please support her events in Kankakee or wherever she may have them. Be a support, and God will continue to bless you guys as well. So we appreciate you coming on tonight.
Thank both of you so much. I enjoyed it. I thank you for having me. Can't wait to do it again.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. So thank you so much, and you can stay in the back room for a minute till we close out.
Okay.
And then, Melissa, you got anything else before we close it out?
No, it's been a wonderful interview. I'm inspired.
Yes, me too. All right, thank you, Ms. JaHana, for coming out. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Bye.
That was great.
Yes, it was. Yes,
that was great. Great.
Excellent. Yeah. Great interview.
Mm-hmm.
So all right. So there we have it. It's another great show in the books. So I'm gonna get ready to close out. So as always, we thank God for his unmerited, undeserved favor called grace. For grace is the total absence of any works. You can't work for grace. You can't buy grace. You can't sell it. It is simply what God has given to each and every one of us, because we believe Christ died for our sins. He was buried, and he rose again the third day for our justification. On behalf of myself, my lovely wife, Melissa, and Contemporary Living, babe, tell them.
Be brilliant. Be you. Be blessed.
Have a good night. And somebody said something. Let me see this last comment here. Christy. Christy said she came in late. I told Christy we forgive you.
Hey, Battle.
Yeah, so we appreciate it. We hope everybody have a good night until we'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
June 8th.
So we're looking forward to our next show in 2 weeks. So y'all have a blessed night and good night. And thank you for tuning in to Contemporary Living. Bye-bye.